So good to see everyone again. Hi, everyone out in Facebook Live world watching us. As you can tell, it's a little bit different, but yes, this is still the Nerd Fan Club where we are fans of the fan. And of course, since we're fans of those who, not only, love nerd culture, anime, video games, TV shows, but also those who, really love God. We're also a big fan of these three ladies who are joining us here. I cannot wait for them to introduce themselves and say a little bit something about them. But we wanted to have March be a very special event month. It is International Women's History Month, Women's Month, things like that. And we did want to honor some of the women that we've been grateful and thankful to connect with, over Instagram. And these are three, wonderful women that you guys will get to meet and get to know. If you are not following them on any of their social media stuff, you are straight up missing out. All three of these lovely ladies, before they introduce themselves, I don't want to give too much away. They are awesome cosplayers. They are, so if you're tired of, looking at our cosplays on our page and you're like, you know what, Brent's Riddler, it's lame. Ian's Captain America, whatever. Well, we have our friends here and they have great cosplays. They've been doing this probably definitely longer than I have been doing it, and their cosplays are amazing. So I'll have them introduce themselves. Of course, their Instagram or Facebook handles, however you want to connect with them. Give them a follow, subscribe to all their stuff. They're great people. They don't bite. Ian bites. They don't. So I'll just have them introduce each other. Miss Abigail, if you can start first.
Sure. So just a little bit about just like who or what I do or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just who you are, what you do, and
so like I said, I'm a cosplayer. I've been cosplaying for 4 years now. 4.5 almost. And so my Instagram and Facebook is Agent Ginger Cosplay. Got that because my very first cosplay I ever made was Peggy Carter. So pulled from a couple other things, and that was my handle. It's been my handle ever since. So on my time when I'm not cosplaying, and I do a lot of work with kids. I work at my church with kids, and I'm a teacher. So it kind of being able to bring a lot of what I do with cosplay into just my everyday life is a lot of fun. But
have you ever cosplayed whenever you taught in your classes?
On Halloween, yes. Okay. So
and are you? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would say that was even before I officially started cosplaying. But yeah, years ago I did a Miss Frizzle at school on Halloween.
No way, bro! Did you have a magic school bus and all that too, or just?
I didn't bring all of it. Just me.
So cool. That's cool. Wow. Okay. I bet the kids are super excited. They're like, we're gonna go to the magic school bus. We're gonna go see something super cool, something scientific. Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Miss Kathy, you can introduce yourself.
Oh, hello. Yeah. Hi, I'm Kathy. My user handle name is Kathina Gallery. So I've actually was always interested in cosplay once I figured it out, like early 2000s. I didn't start seriously cosplaying probably till about 2015, 2016. Because of course I was in school at the time, so school had to be more of a focus. But yeah, it was just really fascinating. I would just usually look up so many tutorials on YouTube, even if it's things I'll probably never create, but it was just so fascinating to see how many people built props or even use everyday utensils to it. So that's what's also really fascinating, is just the creativity out of it. And outside of cosplay, I really am a big lover of music. So I play piano, I sing. I'm also learning Japanese, so I'm really trying to get into also the Asian culture. So I'm got into K-pop a year ago, and just
BTS or
yes, BTS. I'm a huge fan. So yeah, like it's just been really amazing how just like cosplay even just really like gave me a big interest in the Asian culture. So that's where it's bringing me to now. So I'm also kind of working at like a essential workers job. So hopefully, God willing, I'll be able to get a music related job. So I'll be teaching soon with like people around my neighborhood. So that'll be awesome.
Vocal or instrumentation or just music as a whole? For
um,
the,
I'd say kind of like both. I'm pretty much trying to like broad my like talent. So I also kind of kind of practice piano. I'm also eventually going to be trying to learn to like figure out some like songs by ear. Like usually like let's say like a piano cover of a song. So I would try to hear a song and then try to like listen to it carefully and try to transpose as a piano piece. So I'm kind of like a bit everywhere in the area.
oh, sweet, sweet, sweet. And then Miss Jessica, if you could introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself. And of course, your daughter's there with you. Wow.
Um, anyway, okay. My name's Jess Luttrell, and my Instagram is CosplayforChrist with a number 4, so a little different and the same. And I've been cosplaying since 2014. My friend Laura, who co-leads my small group with me, decided to help me build a Commander Shepherd full foam cosplay for my first cosplay. And we went to the Austin Wizard World, and it was the best experience I've ever had besides Jesus in my life. It was awesome. And I was instantly hooked to the cosplay world. I didn't know it existed. I've always been in theater. I'm a lighting design major from college, but like I always had my foot in the door, but like I never really made costumes or anything, you know, so this was a really cool world to get introduced to. And honestly, I just fell in love with it. And the people are pretty awesome. And so I was working at my church in the facilities and the media department, and I stepped down a few years ago, and I now have a third daughter. So I'm just staying home now, being mom and wife. Been married, gosh, it'll be 17 years this June, which is kind of crazy. It's a long time, but it's awesome. And we have a small group, a fellow Christian, nerdy Christians who love Jesus and love cosplaying and being creative. And so we decided to start a small group called CosplayforChrist, gosh, 6 years ago, and figured there'd be other people like us out there. And it's really cool to find the connections through Instagram, social media, people who think the same way. So is that what I had to say?
Yeah, pretty much. And
Yes,
for everyone
okay.
else, for everyone else out there watching, and just tuning in, I will have their Instagram, Facebook handles, and all of that stuff available. Probably somewhere down the road on the Facebook Live and all that. I don't want to keep switching screens here. But definitely when I end up editing this video on YouTube, it'll be in the description. Once again, check them out, follow them. They're all amazing in what they do. And, just, their heart for people and, their passion for God and, their love for cosplay, all things nerd culture. It's great when you can, take those two things that you're really passionate about, be able to put them together to to love your community, to build community with others. And when you find out there's other people out there like you, who love the exact same things. It's great to be able to to meet them and to hang out and to just just to nerd out and have fun. So Ian, you want to take us into our first question, figuring out how they got into yeah.
So, first question I want to pose to you guys and answer in whatever order you guys feel like you guys want to. is how did you get into nerd culture? So what was your first exposure into this world?
I think I'll go first. So I actually have an older brother. So I was usually kind of like influenced by like what I watch and whatnot. So one of the first things that I would say introduced me to like the nerd culture was like the Spider-Man and the X-Men show in the 90s. So that really definitely got me fascinated. So as a girl, like I mostly grew up with like my older brother and two older cousins who were both guys. So I didn't have many females like relatives to be around my age. So that really got me interested to nerd culture. And of course, then like having the usual like Saturday morning cartoon shows, and then like eventually got the Pokemon, Kids WB, ABC7, and then like saying to nerd culture was around middle school, where one of my friends who was my neighbor introduced me to this anime show, and she found it in the library. So that opened my mind to the world of anime. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely different from America animation, but it's so lively and I love it. And then from there, I'm like, grew into anime and just like expanded more on the nerd culture itself.
Which anime show was it?
It's a really like not very well known. It's called Ultramaniac. So it came out like early 2000s. Um, If I'm right, I think the author was Wataru Yoshizumi. She did an older series called Marmalade Boy. I don't know when that came out, but that's one of her known ones.
And yeah, the 90s era cartoons was definitely like game changing for a lot of people entering the nerd community, but especially for representation of women heroes. Because my favorite X-Men is and probably always will be Storm, because she's a beast. And I think, yeah, Storm, Jean Grey, Rogue, like were often centerpieces of the X-Men animated series. And it was always interesting to see like, you know, that takes center stage. Did you have a favorite character from the X-Men series?
Um, for sure, Storm. She stood out to me. I just really love like just every time she comes down and her hair, her whole outfit was just so beautiful. Like, at least for me, like it was definitely contrasting because of course it was power like the rest of it was colorful, but just her was just mostly her whole outfit, her hair was white. So that definitely stood out to more of the characters. Um, I think outfit wise, I really liked Rogue and her hair. But it would mostly be Storm. Mostly be Storm because like since I am Hispanic and a woman of color, so seeing a female hero who's also a woman of color like that was just really like inspiring. Plus like it was the first time I see someone like even though we're not the same skin color, but someone who's a different skin color that's basically also representing like you know woman minority, just like being in the show, being the hero, and like that's very amazing. Like I'm pretty sure like she was probably one of the first characters to be like a representation for women of color.
Well, if you guys are talking about Rogue, man, that was like my girl growing up. I wanted to be Rogue. Rogue was my first like thing that I actually created to like costume I made back in like early college years. I didn't know before I knew what cosplay was. Rogue is like the bomb. I loved how strong she was. I always wanted to be Rogue. But honestly, Nintendo, video gaming early when I was younger, all that stuff got me really into, I didn't even know it was a nerd culture. I just liked playing video games and superheroes and all that stuff. Gargoyles back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember Gargoyles. Love
Yes.
Gargoyles.
Yeah. You know him, man.
I think the topic of like women representation, in a lot of ways, video games had that before a lot of other things did. Lara Croft, Samus Aran, Ms. Pac-Man. Video games, in a lot of ways, were ahead of their time in that representation.
Yeah, I mean, as far as video games go, I mean, probably one of my favorite video game series is The Legend of Zelda, right? And when I was a kid, you know, when I found out that the playable character wasn't Zelda but Link, I was like, wait, so who's Zelda? And like, it's not this kid, it's someone else. And it turned out to be, you know, it's the princess. My childhood growing up was, you know, was a game where, you know, based off of, you know, Zelda, who wasn't technically the main character, but who had a role in, you know, the plot and saving the world from Ganondorf, you know, how everything bad happens in Hyrule and she's always in the middle of it. And she's like, oh man, things are falling apart. I have to save the world. I'm going to partner with Link and he's going to pull the Master Sword and it's going to be great. And, you know, we're going to beat Ganon and Hyrule should be saved. And then of course they totally messed up the timeline or made it more convoluted after Ocarina of Time. And now I'm like, we have 3 different timelines. I'm confused. There's a younger Link. There's a cartoon looking Link. There's an older Link. There's a Calamity Ganon? What? So, you know, but yeah, all good. And then I think that leads us to Abigail, Agent Ginger. Oh,
Real quick, I remember the character I was thinking of.
Go for it. Go for it.
I grew up a huge fan of Halo, right? And you know the OG of Halo, besides John 117, is Cortana. But even more than that was Foehammer, right? Every time you hear Foehammer come on over the radio, you know she got your back. So old school, that's who I was thinking of. I was like, I know it was a Halo character, but it was more than just Cortana, right? But growing up with Halo, like, yeah.
Nice, yeah. And then Miss Abigail, how did you get into, you know, nerd culture, comic books, video games, all of that stuff?
It actually probably started really young. So like my mom grew up watching Doctor Who and Star Trek and all of those when she was growing up. So I remember watching Star Trek growing up. We had some of her old comics around the house that we would read. I don't think I ever really got into one big thing. It was just kind of like over time, little things. Like we would play video bit. I'd go to family's house, you know, like family members, they'd have video games. So just kind of like a little bit over time, my dad read Lord of the Rings to us growing up. And then, so we saw all those when they came out, all the Star Wars, Star Trek. So it's kind of just been a little bit. So I never really video games, but everything else just kind of a little by little until now it's a lot of what I do.
Nerd culture is really like a buffet. You can come and you want some sci-fi, you want some fantasy, right? You want some Western culture, some Eastern culture. You want these different points of views, these different ideals, right? You want heroes, you want villains. You just kind of throw what you want onto a plate, and there's something for you. And everyone has a place at the table. So I would say you guys kind of talked about your first cosplay. Or you guys' favorite cosplays. But I'd like to go into that a little more, like what, and this kind of go into our game, I guess. What is a character from fiction that you feel like a connection to, or like is really personal to you? What was the term you used?
That resonates with you.
Resonates with you. So specifically for the game we're going to be doing, female character that resonates with you guys, that you guys feel connected to.
Please choose one,
and why?
even though there's a lot.
Okay, Abigail laughs, so she gets to go first.
Gosh, you're horrible.
Here, I have connection. I'll go first. Okay, it's a newer character, but I freaking love Cara Dune from Star Wars. She's oh yeah. Yeah, I know. Like she's so tough and like just no nonsense, and she does what she needs to do. I don't know. I just okay. I'm gonna mute, but I elaborate. But this one.
Oh, this is gonna be funny.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Um,
This is not what I was expecting.
all right.
This is gonna be good.
I don't know, is it the character I relate to the most is Miss Frizzle. Like going all the way back to childhood. Like that is what I grew up.
One of our friends, who's kind of our group's oversight, he has this great poem about Miss Frizzle. And it's, taking the idea of the magic school bus, going on that journey, going on that trip that, the students go on. And, but talking about it in terms of racial reconciliation. So, it's interesting that you brought up Miss Frizzle, because I'm thinking back to his poem and I'm like, man, this is going to be in the back of my mind. It's like, yeah, the game that we have planned for you guys, it's going to be pretty good.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be pretty good. We were not expecting Miss Frizzle or Cara Dune, even though, we know that Jessica's a big Star Wars, person. She, on her Instagram story, I think a day or two ago, she, I believe it was your friend Jessica who had the dual lightsabers, and she was twirling them around and doing all the different forms and poses.
That was last night.
That's not yet.
We had our first, our cosplay group met last night for the first time back at the church, and those sabers my husband got me for my birthday, because I turned the big 40 this year. And so I got lightsabers for my birthday, and they were awesome.
You had a 21-year-old birthday? Your 21st birthday? Okay.
No, I'm claiming 40. I will take every year of that. I earned it.
And then I'm sorry, Miss Abigail, I kind of cut you off. So you said Miss Frizzle, and then any particular reason why, other than she's a teacher like you?
I mean, that's part of it. It was just, I mean, science was just really cool, and getting to go in and see all of that, like really dig into it. It was just always one of my favorites. And so I still love Magic School Bus. Obviously I dress up as Miss Frizzle. But yeah, just that, like, science was cool. And it was cool to see like a female teacher teaching science. Like, science was a girl's thing too. It wasn't just a guy's thing. So yeah, even from that point of like, science was always, girls could do science. It was yeah.
Sorry, real quick question. What is the best Miss Frizzle dress?
Oh, I don't know. I'm personally a little biased to the space one, but that's because that's one of my favorite episodes.
I'm going Stormcloud or dinosaurs.
Those are both cool. I tried to find a cool dinosaur one when I was making the dress, just could not find one that I liked. But
and then Kathy?
Thinking about it, it wasn't too hard. Mine has been Sakura Haruno from Naruto for a very long time. Especially just seeing her growth from regular Naruto till now as a mother, who's also now basically like the head medical ninja in all Konoha, and especially the fact that she wasn't born in a ninja family, but basically had to work just pretty much just twice as hard as probably any other ninja to get where she is now. And so for myself, I did see myself, because she was definitely a character that I aspire to be, that has those traits now. Of course, I want to see myself as like a strong woman, but also noticing like I do have my weaknesses, but of course I should definitely like not let that get like put me down, but to also see where I can grow, and to just really like build my confidence, my self-esteem, and just to really like show them like, hey, like, the quote that she even like told Naruto and Sasuke, like, okay, like, you guys have been in the front, now it's your turn to watch me from your back. I don't know if I quote it correctly, but yes, she is a character that I really admire so much. And of course, like, it's hard when you have a character that you like, and sometimes people still keep kind of putting some bashing things, but like, hey, there's so much proof that's shown how much she has grown. And if people haven't read her little short story novel, it shows just basically like how strong she is without any like Kekkei Genkai or any Jinchuriki power. It's phenomenal just to see the amazing character that she is. And she's basically just a mom that you don't want to mess with at all.
So we got a really good group. So
Yeah.
Cara Dune, Sakura and Miss Frizzle. This is gonna be great.
This is
We
gonna
were
be
not
hilarious.
expecting. Oh man. Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
Very different characters, but I see some of the questions and I'm like, I could see them achieve these in different ways for each character.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. This isn't gonna be like, oh, it's not gonna be straight line or cutout, which is great because in the way that our minds work, we don't like to make things easy.
nope.
Because I work with children's ministry Ian's with our youth group. We kind of like to make our kids suffer a little bit here and there. So who knows what's gonna happen? But anyways, the little game activity that we have is, are all three of you familiar with all the characters that were talked about? Cara Dune, Miss Frizzle, and Sakura here and there a little bit, kind of. This makes it even better.
So you're gonna
This
learn
is
today,
good. Yeah. Oh, this is
and
good.
you're also gonna teach today.
Oh, this is good.
Because
This is too
we're
good.
gonna have some interesting discussion. So, do you want to explain the game?
Yeah. In your guys' yearbooks, back when you guys were in school, there was always a section of the yearbook pretty much behind like everyone's portraits and everything, or the students would vote in terms of like most likely to go to Harvard, or most likely to excel at sports, or most likely to get married first, things like that, right? Those type of scenarios. So we're going to use those three characters that you chose, and we're going to go back and forth on these and see which character would most likely do this or that, or become this or become that. So let's start with our first one. This is going to be pretty easy. We're going to start you guys off pretty simple. Those three characters, Sakura, Miss Frizzle, or Cara Dune, would most likely to become the first female president of the United States. It doesn't have to be a good president. Which one would be the first president?
And let's put it in order. Who's our top, second, third?
I think Mrs. Frizzle, straight up.
I agree.
Education, science, I don't know. That she's very diplomatic. Like I think Mrs. Frizzle.
I'm gonna throw a little bit of a wrench in this. I want to know for each character who's their running mate, who's vice president.
Cara Dune.
What the
Gotta
platform
get that
is.
military in there.
So
So
I think my vote would have gone to Cara Dune as first person president. So there we go. We'll just go together.
who would be Cara Dune's vice? Would it be Din Djarin or Greef Karga? So do you think Cara Dune would have her running mate be the Mandalorian Din Djarin or Greef Karga?
She'd take Mando, I think.
Is Miss Frizzle's running mate the lizard?
Liz, that would be awesome.
Air Force One is school bus one.
So we have the military, healthcare, and education system. So who's Sakura's running mate?
I'll probably say her friend Ino, because most likely Ino would pretty much kind of like get her started on like being competitive with whoever she's running up against.
Two wouldn't clash because they do kind of like
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
not gonna be
I feel
Sasuke.
like 'cause, like-
Sasuke's never there.
Yeah. I know they have clash, but there are like since they're like adults, like they don't really clash a lot like before. But it would be hard to kind of see who would be her clashing person. But other than that, I think Ina will probably be her running mate.
We're going with Miss Frizzle as our number one right now.
Miss Frizzle's number one.
All right. And then Cara Dune is number two. And then Sakura is our third.
Very nice.
Awesome. Most likely to run away and join the circus. I feel like that's Miss Frizzle's origin already.
No, she's a Time Lord. This is already.
Is the bus bigger on the inside?
I mean, probably. You see how many kids they get in.
I'm also deciding as Miss Frizzle's number one. She has the magic school
I would say
bus.
Frizzle, yeah.
I mean, in those
This is
outfits.
tougher for
just kind of fit.
who's the next two.
Yeah.
Because Kara or Sakura, right? Both can be kind of straight-laced at times. So between the two, who do you think's more likely to run off and join the circus?
I would say Sakura as well, because since she is a ninja, and she could probably do some like funky stuff like bringing a fish to life. So yeah.
I could see a circus arc being in the original Naruto series. There's the arc where they had to run up the trees. There was the arc where they
Yeah.
like fought Zabuza. There's some arcs that were a little more wacky, like the race arc and everything. It'd be a filler arc, definitely. But I could see Kakashi just being like, all right, you guys are joining the circus. I don't know why I gave Kakashi Izawa's voice, but close enough.
You know, it's interesting because when you were going over, I was like, I could see Cara Dune running off and joining the circus, like as the first one doing it. I don't know why, but she just has this wandering spirit about her where she'll just go off and do her own thing.
She'd be like the beast tamer.
right.
And she'd
yeah.
do like the or knife throw or like strong woman thing.
Strong
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah, she lifts up the 100,000 pound dumbbell, or lifts like half of the audience or something. I could see her do that because I see her as a wanderer type. I'm like, yeah, she does have the job as kind of the sheriff or the prison boss person in the show, but I'm like, I don't really think that she's really up to desk work or staying in one spot for too long. Of course, you could travel in a circus.
Yeah.
And you run into a bunch of strange characters and different people have different abilities and talents and skills and all that. And at least for me, I'd see her running off and joining the circus.
Our first would be Frizzle. Our second would be Sakura, and then our last would be Cara Dune.
Most likely to form a strong bond with a cat.
So who are we looking at our number one for forms of relationship with a strong cat?
Forms a strong bond with a cat. So pretty much, which would be that cat lady person? Who would make a really good cat lady?
I'm just going to throw in here. I'm going to say Cara Dune. I feel like Cara Dune's more the person that likes animals more than people. So I could see her having a loaf cat.
Baby. I don't know. She was kind of whatever that squirrel looking thing that she was messing with. She was like, all right, enough.
But she had
it took her a while to
came
warm
up
up to grow good too. So
Oh, but that's what it is. It takes a while to warm up, and then you're hooked.
strong.
yeah.
I think
Okay,
if
I
she
can
found
see
the
it.
right one, I think she'd be.
Yeah. There was a cat that was more like a dog. She might like that one.
Frizzle already has a lizard.
Yeah, she's got her lizard. She doesn't need a cat.
First choice. Oh, I'll probably say maybe Miss Frizzle or Sakura. My debate's kind of between those two because, first of all, I know Sakura does not have a summoning. Well, actually, she does have a summoning animal, but I think that'll be kind of interesting because there is a filler where they went to kind of like a cat village. And it seemed like she bonded pretty well with the cats, at least from what I remembered. But yeah, I think probably because Miss Frizzle probably tied first because she already has a pet lizard and knows how to deal with animals more. So that's my tie for first place for that.
Who's our number one right now? This is a good question.
Kathy, along those lines, I was thinking the exact same thing with Sakura. She'd probably be a really good cat person. Who knows if she'd, back in the day, if Sasuke would ever come back and all of a sudden she becomes just, a cat lady because,
I was gonna say she basically already has a stray cat in Sasuke. Basically a cat. He just never home. Yeah.
doesn't care about your feelings,
Yeah.
leaves when he wants.
Right. So Sasuke's already a cat.
I could see it's because I think there was an episode in Shippuden where I think he went to get his clothes changed in Shippuden, and then it was with a cat lady. So I wouldn't be surprised her getting along with the cat after seeing that short clip of them in a cat lady's house.
Is Sakura our number one right now?
I don't know enough about her, but just from what Kathy's saying, I would say probably yes.
Yeah, I'm with Kathy on
Either
that
way.
one.
So Sakura's number one. Are we going Frizzle number two? Or Kara? I'm seeing some yeses.
I've seen some yeses on the
Okay.
phrase, yeah.
All right, so
Still don't think
Sakura.
Kara's linked to the cat.
I don't know. I think that She was nice to the weasel. Okay, I think this question is funny because for each character, it can mean something totally different. Most likely to kill someone accidentally. And I'm just going to say it, Miss Frizzle. I'm like, who puts kids, right? You guys seen the episode where the kid takes his mask off in space and like freezes? Like, yeah, he ain't coming back from that. I know it's a kid's show. But...
And yet somehow he did.
Yeah, I know it's a kid's show, but like, I'm gonna put Miss. For me, I'm gonna say Miss Frizzle.
Oh yeah.
You know, I would assume Miss Frizzle just because of the craziness that ensues with her experiments and field trips, but she was always under control. She always had a solution. So even if it was an accident, I feel like she could do some kind of Miss Frizzle magic
And pull him
make
back.
the kid okay. Yeah. So
Tell
even
someone
if
they
it was an
just wouldn't
accident,
say that.
right. Kara could like accidentally throw a cup and knock someone out and like, oh, accidentally dead. But I don't know.
Question was intentional. I feel like it would be Cara Dune, no like thing. I feel like she's more inclined to do something intentional like that, like throw a cup. Maybe goes too far, right? And kill somebody, like someone that needs to be taken in alive.
Yeah, maybe she was just, like in a little friendly fight and she just hit him too hard. I don't know. Put him in a chokehold and accidentally just broke his neck. I don't know. So violent.
Then there's Sakura, who has this on 2 points. One, I was going to say nurse, but right, there's always the medical complication. Or two, she is a super powered magic ninja, right? That has like incredible super strength. And if there's anything we know about super strength, it doesn't take much for it to go bad. So she's the only one with true superpowers. So she also has that risk going for her of like, the more powerful you are, the easier it is for you to accidentally hurt or kill somebody. So
Yep. I completely agree. After the scene moments where like she almost knocks Naruto out and like strangles him, I'm like, yeah, I could definitely see a possibility of her accidentally killing someone, but of course, like I would say like kind of like Cara Dune, I'm pretty sure like it would have to be intentional, like she wouldn't do it just for sake of it. And plus also like if anything, she could try to revive them back as much as possible to make up for it.
does it count as killing somebody if you can bring them back? I think Batman's tackled that question before. I think in one of the Batman games, they tackled the question of, I think it's Arkham Origins. If you kill somebody, but then you can restart their heart, is it really killing them? I think
Yes.
legally
Yes,
it counts
it
as
is.
murder. It is intentional, right? Like from a legal standpoint, it is. So I guess in D&D too, if you're the necromancer, does it count as murder? I think this is probably the most like controversial question we've had so far because I could see each of these characters doing it in different ways. But who are we thinking is our number one right now? Should I just say a name and see how you guys respond? All right. So the first one we talked about was Frizz. How many of you guys think she's number one?
I don't think she would ever let them actually die.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she would actually get it that far, no matter what. Like, because that's her character. So,
Field trip waivers.
yeah.
There's too much writing on all of those things. It wouldn't get that far.
Anyway, school's not in session right now, so. Let's see. How about Cara Dune? Say a little bit. Maybes. All right. And then Sakura. Okay, again, so maybe I think Cara Dune's are leading right now. So Cara Dune, Sakura, Frizzle. Is that what it's looking like? All right.
Yeah.
And then this will probably be our last question.
Most likely to survive a zombie apocalypse, but die from eating a bad can of chili.
I saw Jessica, she was like, oh, zombie apocalypse. Cara Dune got this easy. And then you're like, bad can of chili, though. I I know what they'd be eating on the alien worlds. It's probably worse than chili. I would watch the zombie apocalypse episode of Magic School Bus.
Probably try to figure out a cure, so it wouldn't really. She would fix the zombie apocalypse.
That'd be the episode. Arnold's dead. I'm
It's
sorry.
not Ralph.
Yeah, they're both goners. Arnold and Ralph are goners.
think Sakura would probably like cure herself if she's medical, right? She'd probably figure out how to fix herself pretty good.
You realize she was dying before she died.
I'm sorry. I think Kara would straight up be that person. I think she would eat the bad chili, thinking it was bone broth. You have to wake up. What a way to go. What a horrible way to go. You survive all that and chili.
Yeah. How does SpongeBob?
Oh, what we having a knife puff, Mama? Chili. Sorry, if you're around us long enough, you know like 50 random SpongeBob quotes that just have random context. All right, so Cara Dune, I feel like Frizzle would be the one to cure the zombie apocalypse, but can she survive the chili? I'm like, this is a pretty good zombie team. I feel like Cara Dune has the strongest stomach. It's either got to be Cara or Sakura. Sakura's a ninja. Hasn't she been like poisoned before?
Yeah, she has.
Okay, so she probably has the strongest poison resistance.
But chili doesn't cause poison. Stomach problems, diarrhea, vomiting, because of internal bleeding. I mean, I can see Naruto surviving a bad kind of chili after all the ramen and junk that he eats, and probably
Choji would just survive it. Choji wouldn't even feel effects.
right. But then I could see Naruto like, hey, Sakura, let's go get still get some ramen, and for some reason there's this special chili, topping that's been introduced. I don't know, and Naruto's eating it per normal, and Sakura just doesn't eat ramen as often or as much as Naruto. Just blows up her stomach because of it. I don't know.
Also, I just thought about how beast Gaara would be in a zombie apocalypse. I feel like Gaara is the go-to. He just has like this giant sand. He could just keep any zombie out. Or Rock Lee. Sorry. Now we're just talking about Naruto and zombies. Okay, so I'm gonna say for the can of chili, then probably Sakura.
I think Cara Dune's surviving this one. Miss Frizzle's tough though.
If she's a Time Lord, she'd just come back.
Right.
Just
She would.
get over it quickly. Which coming back from the dead after the zombie apocalypse may not be the best for prospects, though. Some people might have trauma about people coming back from the dead after that. So what are we thinking here, ladies? Who's our top right now? Most likely to die from chili after surviving the zombie apocalypse. How are we feeling about Miss Frizzle's chances?
I don't know if she survived the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, if there wasn't a cure, I don't know that she'd make it.
Dang, but that
Please.
dress, though?
But
Her zombie apocalypse dress?
It would survive. That look best in the zombie apocalypse.
Fashion gotta survive, too. I don't know why I'm saying this. I have horrible fashion, but somebody's got to make fashion survive. All right, so right now, kind of here with Frizz, right? How about Cara? Where's Cara at?
I think she'd die. I think she'd survive it, and then I think she was safe with the chili, and then just lose it. I feel like Kathy's girl would figure out that something was wrong and act before she give herself a cure before she would die. Based on what
Yeah.
she's telling me character.
Sakura is the most likely to survive right now, right?
Yeah.
She has her best chances.
Yeah.
That's the child most likely to survive.
So Cara would die from the chili. Frizzle would,
Yeah.
if there's no cure, would end up in the zombie apocalypse. But Sakura's the one that will make it.
The last thing that I wanted to ask you three: any cause plans? I know that conventions haven't been fully opened yet. There's been like a couple of them that are opening, but later in the year. But conventions will open sooner or later, hopefully sooner, God willing. Any cause plans? Have you been working on any cosplays?
So I'm actually finishing up my cartoon. It's not done yet. Like I have to finish the boots and then she's done. And then I'm working on a Jawa cosplay for my friend's doing a fan fiction film. So I'm working on a couple of Jawas, and then I really want to finish my bras from Monsters Inc. Like I got the face sculpted. I just have to actually do the latex mold and make the actual costume. But we'll see if that gets done this year.
I actually have a convention here in a couple I try to go to. So we got a couple opening back up, and then there's lots of like photo shoots planned for this summer, like putting on photo shoots. So I've got a lot of those kind of like putting things together, finding pieces. But I've got for the convention coming up, it's kind of like Tolkien themed, or that's kind of like the main base of it. So I've got a AON style that I'm trying to put together. And then I've done lots of research. I don't have I've got a few pieces, but I started playing D&D this year. And so I've got my character that I'm like drawing out the outfits and doing all of that planning. That really sometime, hopefully this next year, we'll get that one finished. And there's no like end goal for that. So it's just kind of whenever I get to it and get it done.
What race and class?
Wood Elf Ranger.
So that's dope. And then, how about you, Kath? Wait, did I say the wrong name? Kathy, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't do the 8 sound.
So I already have one cosplay that's ready, and I'm just waiting for a convention to wear it. Is Nezuko from Demon Slayer. So I finally got the wig, and I have everything.
You have the box? Are you going to come in a box?
No. I can fit in the box though, depending how big it is. She's definitely one I already have already ready. There is I'm not sure if any of you have played Kingdom Hearts. So there is a Christmas Town version of Sora. So I got a dress version for that for Kyrie.
Oh,
so
nice.
We'll do a little like Christmas Town version of her for that one. And I would say like small things is just basically like small wig styling, if much. So far just mostly like Nezuko and Kyrie Christmas Town versions will I have, but I'll see. I know at the moment the wigs are going to be keeping me busy because I have a good amount that need to be styled.
Yeah, I got that Inosuke mask, but I don't have the body or the confidence to pull off Inosuke. I have to wear one of those muscle shirts. Nice. We'll go ahead and pray and close out. Thank you guys for joining us. We've been honored to have our guests here today. Join us and have some fun, crazy conversation. Go follow them on their social medias, which should be, when this goes up on YouTube, it should be in the not the comments.
The description.
The description of the comments, one of the two. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and pray us out, and then we'll close out. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for all that you're doing in our nerd community, Lord, the way that you still lead and guide us. Lord, thank you for our women who are called to be leaders, are called to be strong, are called to be heroes. You made them beautifully and wonderfully, Lord. Lord, I pray that we would steward well in the nerd community to show that, Lord, to honor our female leaders, our female cosplayers. Lord, that we create an environment where, like we talked about at the beginning, Lord, it's a buffet where everyone's welcome at the table. Lord, both in the nerd community, but also in the church community, Lord. Lord, I pray that we continue to grow closer and closer to you, Lord, invest further and further in the gifts and the hobbies and the loves that you've given us. In my name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, man. So it was a pleasure meeting you guys actually in person. It's crazy.
So it's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
This is Ellie, my middle.
hi.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi.
Does she cosplay too? Jess?
She does. She's Ahsoka and Galadriel and Moana. And what else have you done? Baby Tooth from Rise of the Guardians.
She's done quite a bit. Her older sister's done more, but she's been up there. She does a lot. You like it? Yeah, we have fun.
Yeah, for everyone out there on Facebook Live, on YouTube, whenever you get this up, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, we'll see you guys next month for the next installment of the Nerd Fan Club. No idea what we're gonna happen. Everything just comes together at the end, but we do this monthly. So keep up with us. Of course, follow our 3 friends on all their social media handles. Check in on all their cosplays that they're doing, because coming up with some good stuff, and you do not want to miss it. So until then, until next month, stay safe, and we'll see you. What's today, March? We'll see you in April.